Welcome to Contractor Cuts, where we cover the good, the bad, and the ugly of growing a successful contracting company.
Welcome back to Contractor Cuts. My name is Clark Turner.
I'm Jared Flo.
Thank you guys for joining us again. So this week we are talking about office managers, office work, how to manage all of the stuff that doesn't make you actual cash, right?
All that stuff in the background that you got to be doing to keep your company running, but the job site stuff takes precedence and it falls off. You can't get to it. It weighs on your shoulders, or you just fit it in where you can try and fit it in.
Yep. All of the office management roles. We're going to go over what you do that doesn't make you money but has to get done, and then we're going to kind of dive deep into this is our job description for an office manager. This is what you want from one. This is what you don't want. This is a good hire. This is a bad hire. And trust us, we've made a lot of good and bad hires at the office manager.
And kind of what's a trigger that makes sense. Okay, it's time for me to start looking.
So everything that you're doing, there's a whole list of stuff that we could list out of all the hats that you, as the owner of your company or as the general contractor, general manager, the main guy in charge, what you are doing that doesn't make you money but is necessary, right? Give us like a list rundown of that, Jared.
Well, I mean, the one of the big ones that comes off first to me is just financial management, right? Like staying on top of your numbers. It's so important running a company to be able to know, am I making money? Where am I overspending? Do I have
receipts,
logging receipts? All of that type of stuff is incredibly important, but tedious and takes a lot of work to keep it organized.
Where's Home Depot credit limit is a max. We got to switch to this. The credit card that it is due by the end of the month, and this is got to get paid. I got to cut checks to these guys and make sure they're in the mail. All the bills that you have to pay, all of the management of that, and knowing where the money's going, where it is, who we need to collect from. All of that stuff is eventually not going to be on your plate. But right now, until you have help, that's on your plate. That's what you're doing. And it's not making you money, but it's saving you from losses.
Right. Well, and it's also, information follow-up, staying on top of permits, and if you've got drawings out there, if you've got, need to get in touch with architects, can't get in touch with them, and following up on that. If you need to file liens, collections,
calls.
Exactly. Collection. Like, who do I need to contact? When do I need to contact those people? Do I have a list of those? Right. Like, staying on top of that is incredibly difficult. Another one is communication management. Like the copious amounts of information that's coming at you, trying to take your time. Not you like communicating well to people.
Well, it's not communication. It's communication management. Managing, prepping, being proactive in. This is when someone calls and needs a copy of our W-9 because we're working as a sub for a larger company. Where do I find the W-9? How do I get it to them? How is it emailed? Where, all of that information. Stupid stuff like that you don't want to deal with.
Right.
And most of us reactively deal with it, right? I need a W-9. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to fill one out. Let me go find my tax ID. Let me go do this. Okay, here it is. Hey, we need a copy of your insurance. Oh, let me email my insurance person. I don't know where the copy is. And it takes an hour and a half because it's not organized. It's not in this file. It's not over here. It's not updated properly. And it drains your time. But it's work that you have to do, unexpectedly stealing time from you, right? It's walking out the door at 5:03 because I got to get to a kid's baseball game. And you say, oh, it's the last day of the month and I didn't submit for our insurance and we didn't do this, and I got to spend another hour and a half here doing that because I forgot to do it.
Or it's the last day of the month. I got to pay the credit card. If I don't pay the credit card, I'm going to pay the fees on top of it. It's just there's so many.
Text to the wife, babe, I'm going to be late tonight, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but you've also got, you need to be creating operating procedures of the way that you function. If you're trying to grow and develop, you've got to be creating those things and working on those type of things.
And not just a job description for the person coming in to do it, but it's the evolution of the way you do things, right? It's we give you this if you're a ProServe Alliance partner, and we help you develop it within your company because every personality of a company is different. But it is the development of these processes. We always say our office manager, which If you don't have one, you are one.
Right.
The office manager's job is to grease the wheels. You make things run smoother, faster, more efficient, and everything that falls under that is your job.
That's right.
And so when you are the office manager yourself, you're also the GC, you're also sometimes the hammer swinger, you're also the janitor, right? You're everything. When you're wearing the hat of the office manager, your job is to proactively prepare the company to run as smooth as possible.
And a lot of times, most of the time, when you don't have an office manager and you're the project manager, the client relations person, and doing all the office work, everything that you're doing when it's associated office work is reactive.
Reactive, yeah.
You're being reactive with all of it and dropping the ball on a lot of stuff because the money maker takes precedence for you.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I get those materials to the job site so the crew can do the work so I can get the money from the client. I'm not going to file that paperwork. I'm not going to get back to this person or that person, right? And those things end up dropping the ball, which eventually cause you to lose efficiency.
Yeah, and money and time and accuracy.
Yeah,
I mean, it's,
and reputation.
How many times have you, if you're listening to this as a general contractor running your own company, do you have the one time a year where you sit down and say, oh, crap, I got to update my QuickBooks and try to pull all my money together because I got to do taxes this week?
The stereotypical box full of receipts that you hand your CPA
for 60
or whatever.
hours, you're trying to figure out what was what and what can I justify, because if you did a little bit along the way, you're fine, but that has to get done for you not to go out of business, but that doesn't make you money.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of the different roles that we're talking about. For us, we don't want to hire an office manager. If I am your consultant, do not hire an office manager until you have to. But what does that mean, right? I have to today. I don't have to, but it'd be very helpful today, right?
It would be great if I hired somebody so I could have some more time.
Yep.
That's typically what people think. If I just hire this person,
I hate doing
I'll
the
have more
books.
time.
I need to just hire someone to do this because I hate it. So we have a step-by-step org chart that we're going to be going through at our next One Day to Win event. That is, the next one is in June 23rd in Dallas, Texas. Go to our website and sign up. We'd love to see you there and show you this org chart. But it is a step-by-step guide through how to hire every single person that you're going to hire.
Who to hire and when to hire.
Yep, and it's how the company grows the duplication, and it's step-by-step, super simple. So on this org chart, we have levels 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then beyond. But level 3 is where we first put in bringing on full part-time help.
Yeah. Well, and inside of level 3, it's broken into different stages, right? Of you do this first, then you look for this, then you hire this, then you go there. And I think the first time that you're at a full-time office manager is like 3C.
3C,
right? And when you get into the first time you're in level 3A, 3A is when you're looking for part-time help. So
let's talk about this. I know that if you haven't seen this org chart, then it's kind of hard to understand what we're saying. Level 3A means we're going to put it up on the screen. If you are watching us on YouTube or you're listening to us on the podcast and want to go check out stage 3A and 3C, go to our YouTube page and check out the video. We're going to put it up on the screen. 3A is a org chart of you are there and you've got 2 project managers
as the owner, the general manager. That you're the top of it. You've
got 2 project managers that you've brought on, and you're still running one crew.
That's right.
So that means you got one job at a time that you're running, and you got 2 project managers each running their own jobs. That is the point that we like around that second hire to bring in some sort of assistance, some sort of help. We've got a really good bookkeeper that we've partnered up with named Matthew. He's part of ProServe Alliance now. You can. We'd love to introduce you to him. He works with the majority, a lot of our contractors, doing bookkeeping, financial consulting.
Comes into your bookkeeping or your books as it is today. Helps you clean them up, get them straight, and then helps keep you organized and up to date.
Someone like Matthew, a bookkeeper, is usually the easiest first hire for doing a part-time office manager because, he's training you. You're not training him, right? You're not hiring someone off Indeed,
right?
And trying to teach them how to do QuickBooks, right? It's someone who is taking one of your hats as office manager. I don't want to part-time hire someone to do a little bit of everything,
Right.
because then I'm training them on everything,
Yeah.
and that's going to be a full-time person. What I want to do is say, okay, what's one key piece of an office manager job role that I can just chop off my plate because my plate is full and let someone else do?
And know this person's got that covered.
And bookkeeping is one of the easiest ones because it's just adding up numbers, making sure everything's accurate, put together.
Right.
And it is so important to have that part of your company very, very clean and accurate. If I had to pick one thing in the background that outside of estimates and money management, the office job, the most important is having clean financials that you can see everything that's going on. You can't make any decisions until QuickBooks and the ProServe software are perfectly clean.
You can't make any proactive decisions, right? Because I have no way to see.
So hiring someone like Matthew, a bookkeeper that's going to come in and do everything on the back end and kind of help get you organized is a win-win, because it's taking stuff off your plate and he's going to teach you. You're going to learn some stuff about the accounting side and kind of have someone, a professional coming in who's trained in QuickBooks, who's an accountant coming in and looking at it for a very, very inexpensive price compared to a office
completely
manager.
Reasonable.
So that we suggest him, he's not paying us to say it, but we suggest someone like him because that is an easy, quick pressure relief valve that we approve. Right,
Yeah,
two hires. At that second hire, you bring on some sort of help that's going to take something off your plate because you've got a full plate at that point.
Well, and a big piece of why we recommend that is because, one, it's so valuable and vital to have your finances in order. Right? You have to, especially if you're hiring on employees. The organization of your books is associated with the safety of their paycheck. Like, you've got to be able to have that. But we've also made some really critical mistakes in our company by bringing in people that we thought were decent enough and we could train them on the rest, and they made some really crappy mistakes.
Sure, absolutely.
Right? And so if you're going to do it in-house, that's fine. You just need to make sure you have somebody who really knows and understands how to do it and keep it up. And so it's not bogging everything up and giving you a clear financial picture. And if you don't, outsource it.
So, something I've seen is guys will have their wife come in, right? Or they might have like an adult child, son or daughter that might come in and do some part-time work. That's great. Get them QuickBooks training, get them software training, get them understanding how to do all that stuff. Don't just take someone and show them how you do it, because unless you are QuickBooks trained, it's very important to have it accurate. And it's not a lot of money to get someone trained up, at least in understanding the basics of how things work and how QuickBooks or your accounting system works. So that's definitely step one at 3A, bringing on somebody that's going to help out taking some of the load off your plate. If you are an accountant, if you're really good at that stuff and you can do it easily, let's not hire that part-time for that. There's tons of stuff that the office manager hat wears. So that's part of the consulting we do also is let's figure out what's the best build around you, right? There's it's not a cookie cutter system that we give you. This is the skeleton of a system. Let us help you build around it to grow your company around you.
I actually have one of the guys that I coach that he used to be a CPA. So he knows how to do that. He just doesn't even do it for his own company because he doesn't have time. Right? His books are a mess because he doesn't have time. And so, but we're working to get people to handle some of the field stuff so that he can focus on. He can do it. He doesn't need to outsource that, right? So it's customized. Some things are customized for that. I think another thing for the part-time person, we talked, part-time, you can very easily outsource, financial stuff and bookkeeping. But another one is like, as a part-time person, you already said it, I don't want to spend a ton of time training somebody on the theory and reason why things need to be done a certain way. But there are tasks that I have that are just, they don't take brain power. They just got to get done. Right? Filing liens, following up on them. inputting data. We've got some clients that send us what they want done, and that just has to be inputted into our software.
80 line item scopes that
it
are
just
sent
takes
to us.
time, and it's absurd for a project manager to have to spend the time to do that when he's getting phone calls on live sites.
When he's the money maker for the company, we don't want a money maker doing a task that a $12 an hour person can do.
So don't give somebody that's a part-time things that they're going to be constantly coming back to you and asking questions.
Correct.
Give them tasks that they can just, I need you to come in and I need you to move something from box A to box B. And I need you to do it over and over. And I'm going to pay you $8, $9, $10, $15 an hour, whatever it is, to handle that for me. Right? Giving you, and that decreases your workload on non-brain power things so that you have more bandwidth to focus on the things that do earn cash.
If you want to hear a list of what you could give away, right? The different categories our office managers handle, we're going to cover that in just a moment. We're about to dive into a full-time office manager, right? 3C we're going to talk about. Before we get into exactly what an office manager should and shouldn't be, I want to take a second, talk about our event, June 23rd. We'd love to see you guys there. It is a one-day event. Day one of this event is, in the morning session, is how to run projects. Start to finish, our 10-step guide of every step you need to take to run on-site processes for your company. The afternoon session, we'll lunch is included. After lunch, we go into, this is like how to be a CEO, how to grow your company. Let's look at the long-term vision, build that out, and let's figure out the steps you need to be taking today when you get home to work towards that vision.
Take a split second, a half day, a full day to back out of the crazy communication management and all that stuff. Step back and focus on your company. Where do I want to go? Where have I misstepped? Let me get it a little bit more organized. You spend one day doing that, and then you walk away and you have a plan of things to do. And there hasn't been anybody who's ever attended one of those events that didn't come out with at least an excited vigor of like, oh man, I'm excited to really start moving towards what I just.
And right now it's $99. We got 50% off on the website right now. The code's on there. It's $199. It's 50% off, $99 right now. And if you leave there saying you didn't learn something, I will give you all your money back.
100%.
Not a problem. I know that it will be helpful for you in growing your company and learning about the mistakes we've made in getting to where we've gotten. So love to see you guys there. If not a lot of people know this, but if you ask, day 2, we're actually still going to be in Texas. And we're doing one-on-one sessions with a couple guys out there.
Don't tell everybody. Don't.
If you want to do like a 30-minute to an hour session with us for free, we'll do some consulting for you. We're there to help. So you don't have to sign up for anything to do that outside of just coming to the one day. But we'd love to see you guys there. Go to our website, ProServeAlliance.com. Go to the events page on there.
The next one is Dallas, so click on the Dallas one. Buy tickets. You're good to go.
If you can't make it there, email us. We'll give you a list of when the next ones we're going to be at. So, anyways, getting back into office manager.
So before we jump in, I thought of something else about the part-time. Before we go into the full-time, when in level 3, A and B. In A, you've got 2 project managers and you're still running a job, right? And you're managing these other 2 project managers. Moving from A to B, you're moving completely out of the field, and you've got 2 project managers you're running full time, and you've got an office assistant part time, right? But your number one goal at that place is you're looking for 2 people. I'm looking for a 3rd PM, and I'm looking for a full time office manager. So take your part-time person, have them posting out on Indeed, and then weeding through the resumes that are coming in. Nope, that one's crappy. That one's horrible. This one's here's a good one. Here's a good one, right? And taking some of that time off your plate and having that person deal with that. So it's just one of the thoughts I had of, in that level, it's a great use of that person's time.
So we like to hire full-time employee between the 2nd project manager and the 4th project manager. Right? Somewhere in there is the sweet spot. Around the 3rd project manager hire is when your plate starts overflowing. You can't hire a 4th without some sort of help in the office. you can, but you will hate your life, right? It's 80 hours a week now because you're managing 4 people plus a full company plus everything else plus the clients that are
Wait, I have an office
issues.
Manager and I have to manage the office manager?
Yeah.
That's part of it?
Yep. So we like to hire, and this is 3C. We'll throw that up on the board as well. 3C is the office manager hire. It's when you've got your third project manager, you're hiring your third project manager and your office manager around the same time, depending on who you find and
that's right,
and what cash you have available, that sort of thing. So when I'm looking for an office manager, first off, let's go through a job description. What we're looking for skill-wise out of an office manager. I've printed out our job description that we give out to our Alliance executive partners. We have all the paperwork. So if you need to hire someone, we give it to you in an editable sheet that you can take the job description, edit to what you
customize it to your thing,
or take it as it is and send it out there. But it's pretty cool the abilities that you have when you join with us because you've got all of this.
It's already pre-written. You're not having to create
3 days to create some of this stuff. So on the job description, we've broken out into different categories that they're responsible for. First thing an office manager does, accounting, right? We also have a CPA.
Yeah.
That's the person dealing with the taxes.
That's right.
We also have a payroll company that's dealing with payroll and taxes on payroll. Accounting is not necessarily that.
It's accounting for money in, money out, what's associated with what.
Yep, anywhere from paying bills, doing the 1099s at the end of the year closeout, daily receipt input, submitting change orders if we've got larger clients. There's a whole number of things. Really, it's QuickBooks maintenance, what money's coming in, what money's going out, what credit cards need to get paid, what accounts need to get paid. And it also goes into a sub calls and says, hey, I never got a check. Well, let me look into that. Let me see if there was one deposited. Let me contact the bank to cancel it. Let me cut a new one, right? All of that stuff that takes us who are out in the field to remember to do it when we get back. It takes us an hour to figure out all that stuff and go through that through that line. Our office manager gets through that in 15 minutes because they know exactly what to do. Yeah.
Well, and the value of that is that the office manager is doing that on a daily basis.
Yep.
So not only do I know how much money have I spent on materials on this job?
Yep.
Not how much have I spent in the company, but on this job, am I over or under on my materials, right? But the other thing is that you on a daily basis have a clear vision of what cash do I really have, because you're not waiting to pay the bills. The bills are getting paid when they're supposed to. Your subs are getting paid when they're supposed to. And so you have an accurate idea of how much money do I have. If I needed to make a financial decision, if I have a truck go down and completely die, can I buy a new one? Is that a thing I can do, right? And so if without that, you can still do that as an owner, but it takes sitting down for 2 or 3 hours to weed through all the stuff to finally, on a spreadsheet or a piece of paper, all right, my bottom line dollar, I have $1,300 left. I can't buy a truck, right? But it took you 3 or 4 hours. So that's just one of the values of, on a daily basis, your finances are being accounted for, and you can make quick and easy financial decisions.
So we're not going to go too deep into this in this podcast, but one of the spreadsheets we give you is a GM accounting spreadsheet. And so the office manager, this is just kind of an example, the office manager every Monday sits down with this spreadsheet, and on it has all the bills, all the payments that go out, all the debts, anything else that is being serviced, that money will be going out at any time, not just this week, but at any time. As well as a spot to put all the money that we believe we're going to collect on this week. Right? And so our front office manager sits down, says, okay, this bill's due this week, so that's going to get paid. This bill's due at the end of the month, so I'm going to put 0 there, and figures out exactly how much money they need to spend this week by Friday. And then says, okay, let me sit down with my GM. Let's look at our accounts receivable and say, okay, who's going to pay us this week? Okay, Bob Johnson owes us, $18,000. He said we can pick up a check on Thursday. Great, go ahead and put that down. And so we keep track of what's going in this week, what's coming out this week, when is that money coming in, and it's all brought to the GM to where the GM sits down for a 20-minute meeting and has a full understanding of what we got to do this week.
How much money do we have? How much money is going out? How much money is coming in? And does that cover everything so we can make sure everybody gets paid? When you get to the point where you have employees, you've got paychecks coming out every other week.
Yep.
Every week you have subcontractor checks going out, right? And so on Monday, I need to know when payroll and everything's going out at the end of the week.
Yep.
Am I going to have enough money to cover that? And sometimes it's really hard to see.
Yeah.
And that spreadsheet really helps with that.
Yeah. And by doing it this way, it allows the GM to have confidence without having to hunt for it, right? It's I know exactly what's going out, what's going in. Hey, at the end of this week, if all that looks good, let's move $20,000 over to the savings account. Or, that big job isn't paid until next week. Let's go ahead and pull 20 from the savings into this account to make sure we have all of our stuff covered. And then next week, I want you to go and put that 20 back when this check comes in.
Right.
Whatever it is,
right.
allows you to just be sitting as the controller in the steering the ship
and be able to see
and
with
see
the money
accurately. So that's the job.
I think we've harped on accounting enough. We've made it very clear.
But
it's very important.
It's a huge part of that job.
Yeah.
It's so important. Next, office, right? The office management, anywhere from filing leads, thorough knowledge and abilities in the softwares, right? Maintaining vendor and client information, so huge, right? Making sure that that's accurate, that's updated. Data entry. Managing incoming and outgoing mail, right? Something comes in, we open it up, we get it to the right project manager. It's just all of the tedious ordering materials, ordering supplies.
How many of you have a stack of mail that's just been sitting over on the side of your desk that I know I need to get to it, I just don't have time to weed through it?
Yep. So doing that, getting office supplies, ordering paper, getting the printers. I got a new hire, let's get all of that stuff set up for the laptop they need and the credit card and the shirts and all that stuff that we need to organize. The next three are kind of the same but also different. We have our company, which is probably larger than the majority of people using this, but we have project managers, we have a head of department, and we have a general manager. And so the office manager has 3 separate roles with each of that level of person.
Right.
So as a project manager assistant, you're helping with permits, pre-construction paperwork, special purchases that might need to be ordered that might be bigger than what's available for the project manager.
Following up on information with permits and all of that stuff.
And also project manager out on the road driving around gets a text from the homeowner, says the house looks great, just send me an invoice, I'll get you paid. Picks up the phone and calls the office manager and says, hey, can you invoice 123 Main Street? They're ready to go. Send it as me. Get that invoice out today because I'm not going to be at a computer till Monday.
Right.
Stuff like that, helping the PMs get their jobs done quickly and efficiently.
Which if you use the ProServe software, you can do because you can send emails
real quick,
very easily.
You can send it as someone else if you're the office manager. Head of department assisting. This is reconciling a number of what we call the big board, or looking at what's going on, what's our pipeline look like, what jobs are coming up. It's looking at the reports. We've got a list of reports that we pull from QuickBooks, assessing those and handing them to the head of department.
Which goes hand in hand with, that's more on the GM level. The reports are about the GM's project managers, so he can kind of see, are they performing?
The head of departments, the head of departments, project managers, what's going on the job sites individually. Hey, this job is now at -4%. What's going on here?
That's right.
Type flags that they're raising to the head of department. Also tracking leads, right? Leads coming in, hey, putting them up, getting them on his calendar to call back for the desk estimates. And then finally, the GM assisting. That's large QuickBooks reports. That's kind of full company reporting. So these are what goes to the GM. These are the reports that go to the head of department. And assisting with implementing some of the processes and procedures, right? As the GM, I want to sit down with my office manager and say, okay, where are the holes that you're seeing right now? What's going on that we need to fix to where things are going to run smoothly? And
do we have a process that's broken, or do we not have a process and need
in
to
place that
one?
Needs to be created? So that's what you're doing for the GM. So all of that stuff requires a very specific personality. Yeah. Right.
Well, and if you don't have any of those people, and you're the owner of the company, you're doing all of those.
Yeah, you're doing all of
that stuff.
Which this is kind of all of the office stuff that you're going to be doing. Now, underneath all of this, there's stuff we haven't talked about, but it falls under this, right? Renewing insurance and doing audits on the insurance that we have to do once a year. That's all falls on the office manager, but they have it all organized, and it's very quick and easy to do those audits now.
Right.
But all of that stuff falls into these categories. to find the right person, the qualifications of someone doing this, I don't need someone with a master's degree.
Right.
But it is a very difficult personality to find. We've gone through a lot of office managers. And especially recently, we went through a string of not hiring the right person or bringing in someone that was a great fit in one of these areas, but not in the other.
Yeah.
So, Jared, when you're looking at a hire for an office manager, what are you trying to find in the interview?
Well, first and foremost, our office manager is the first line of defense, the first contact that clients hear. Like on the phone, what they hear is going to impact what the client thinks about the company. So the ability to have natural customer service, to have, honestly, to have empathy, of understanding, and not be so rigid that everything is black and white, right? But to be able to see both sides and to be able to help clients understand. Sometimes clients can be unruly and not very nice. Sometimes subs can be that way. Sometimes project managers can be that way. And the office manager has to deal with all of them. And their job is assisting people so they can do better or be better at their job, right? So someone who has a great personality and knows how to deliver customer service, but also has the ability to be black and white and be kind of a holder of, no, we can't do that because this is the process and this is the way we do it. Let me see if there's a way to do a workaround, right? So
we need to breed a pit bull and a golden retriever.
That's the truth,
right?
Yeah.
Because you need the golden retriever attitude of, someone calls. This is the first person that they're going to hear on the phone is our office manager, right? They answer on the phone. Hi, thanks for calling. Yada yada, right? And so that, or someone calling and asking the same stupid question for the fourth time, not being like, I just answered that for you,
right?
But being let me get that for you. Yeah, am I not communicating? Let's figure this out so you can, right? And so
some clarity on that.
Yeah.
As the person listening to this, as the owner of your company, you think about the two different phone calls that you get. You get the phone call from your client, questions, problems, issues, whatever it is, and the way that you interact with them. And then you get another phone call from your subcontractor who's, where's my check? I didn't get paid enough, blah, 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 issues on site, and the way that you interact with them. And sometimes it's very different. And with your subcontractor, a lot of times you have to hold a hard line and say, I'm not doing that until you get the work done. Yeah. I'm glad to, and so there's that type of thing, that the interaction that you have to have, but you also have to have the customer service level communication for when you're dealing with clients. Right. And you're going to be moving that responsibility to your office managers. So that's what we mean by the golden retriever and the
attitude of a golden retriever, the backbone of a pit bull. I'm not going to let you walk all over me. I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to just lie down and say, okay, if you needed that check, I'll go ahead and reprint it, and I hope I hope it's okay. And you can't have that. You got to have someone say, I'm sorry, these are the rules. I could lose my job if I just give money out. I can't do that. You need to contact your project manager. But I'm still an advocate for you. Hey, do you have your project manager's cell phone? Let me give you that. Let me help you, right? I'm still the attitude of empathy and help and advocacy, but the mindset of, it's not going to help you just to take advantage of us. Let me show you how I can help you, but this is our limits to what we're going to do for you. Right. I can do that, and I'm going to go 110% to try and help, but I'm also not going to put the company in danger. That's right. And break the rules that are put in place. Yeah. Right. So the office manager has to be doing that, but they also have to have a mathematical mind, right? They have to be decent at numbers because there's accounting that they're doing. Yeah. And that's something that we've missed before, right? They had all the other stuff, but couldn't add 10 plus 10. No. Right. And so I was like, okay, that person's not going to work out. I wish they had that. So one of the things that we are implementing now is when an office manager comes in, I need to know that they're good with computers. I need to know that they can learn something without being told 17 times.
They can type.
So I'm going to sit you down in front of our software training videos. You're going to watch the first video that's 5 minutes long, and it teaches you how to build an estimate in our software. Right. If you can watch that video and build me an estimate, You've got typing.
You got the skills.
You got the learning, right? You're good with the computer to where you can figure out where buttons are and that sort of thing, right?
Yeah.
Easy test, very easy test. You're checking a lot of boxes with a small test like that. So please do that when you're hiring a project manager. An office manager. Give them a couple tests to make sure, because we have loved a few project managers,
office managers.
We have loved a few office managers that we ended up having to let go, and that was the hardest because it was like, really, we love you. You check 7 of the 8 boxes, but that 8 box that you're not checking,
we can't train you.
It.
We can't train you. Just don't have it.
Yeah, and so that's the hard part with an office manager.
One big one is like creative problem solving.
Yeah,
the ability to look at large amounts of information and figure out how to fix it.
Yep.
Whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
One of the questions that I use on a regular basis just to get somebody's conceptual ability to do this is how many golf balls can you fit inside of a school bus?
Yeah.
And figure out what their answer is. Tell me how you got to that number.
Yep.
The person is like, I don't know, probably 1 million.
Yeah.
Like, the person's like, well, if I put my arms out on the inside and it's about 7 feet.
What's a golf ball? 2 inches?
About
and
2
so
inches. Right. And they think through it will help you understand. That's a really important piece of being able to problem solve in that job position.
So a couple things as we close this out that I think are very important. The hiring of an office manager is very critical for your company. If you hire an office manager that is bad, that you thought was good, and you give them the keys to your accounting, to your books, to your money accuracy, to your client contacts, to your subcontractors, they can ruin you very quickly on accident. Not on purpose. They can mess up your QuickBooks. They can send money out that shouldn't be sent. Now, you don't want to give them the keys that quickly, but it really could affect your company. But on the other side, a really good project manager becomes
office manager.
Oh my goodness.
You like them project managers.
Yeah. Well, a really good office manager in a company should become your operations manager, the person in charge of operations.
Creating efficiency in the company.
Creating efficiency. And here's the thing. Most guys are trying to get an office manager for minimum wage. I want to get someone in here for $30,000, and we've had that.
Yep.
You need to be paying someone more.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you want the good project manager, you need to be higher pay than minimum wage.
Right.
Minimum wage is going to be a secretary. You want someone who's going to become the CEO one day of your company, possibly the head of operations for your larger company. You need to get the right person and interview 17 people before you say yes to someone, because there's so many boxes, and this is such a critical hire. Honestly, it's more important than the project manager hire.
Yeah. Well, and I think why it is so difficult to make a decision. It feels like, if I hire this person for as little money as possible and can offload as much as possible, it's going to be beneficial for my company.
Yep.
And the reality is that an office manager's money comes directly off of the bottom line.
Yeah.
As the owner of the company, it comes directly out of your bank account.
Yep.
Whatever you get paid, you got to subtract that money from what you get paid, invest it in this person, and hope that investment returns 4 times the amount that you invested. And if you get a good person, you pay them a little bit more because you want that extra person. You want them to be motivated because you've given them life-changing for them, life-changing money. That's going to motivate them to be, I want to be the best that I can be, and I want to create efficiencies in this company because I want people to see that what I do matters.
And we tie that pay to the growth of the company.
Yep. Right?
The company gets to, once we hit 10 million, you're going to get an X amount of pay bump, whatever it is. So I love exactly what you just said, because with that, with what you're talking about of an office manager's importance and bringing them in, what did you just say? I just blanked out on it.
Well, I was just saying that the value of the amount of money that you pay them is worth it. Yeah.
So with that, one of the things that you don't think about right now, today, you're in 3C. I've got 3 project managers. I'm ready to hire full-time. I am personally making $200,000 a year because I've got 3 PMs running this I've got this amount of money coming in.
$2 to $3 million a year, somewhere around in there.
I'm taking
revenue.
home $200,000 today. That first day one that I hire that office manager for $50,000, I am now making $150,000.
That's right.
Right. I hire a project manager for $50,000. I'm making $150,000, but by next month they are bringing in more clients. For an office manager, it takes 6 months for their impact to be felt.
That's right.
Right. And so I have to be able to, at least minimum, but I have to be able to reduce my income to take some of what's on my plate and hand it to someone else.
It is literally a personal investment.
Yes.
In the company.
It is planting a seed that's going to grow and harvest more down the road.
Yeah.
But it's an expensive hire. It is money straight out of your pocket. It's not someone who's going to be earning cash for you.
And one of the things that I will say about this, and we've said this multiple times, and this is a different use of it, but in this business, you're going to spend one of two things: money or reputation, right? This is spending your money to build your reputation, because reputation, people and clients feel comfortable and excited about your company when the details are covered. When they feel like, wow, I got a response quickly on that. They were on top of that. They were responsive. I got somebody immediately. That all of the details being covered and not missed are what the efficiency that the office manager brings. So you are spending money to invest in that office manager, which is increasing your reputation and hopefully 4- or 5-fold investment.
Well, and I can't hire that 4th PM till I have that person in place.
That's right.
And that 4th PM is going to make the money that's going to pay for that person, right? And so it's part of the process of hiring it the right way, the right time, not too early, but also not too late.
Yeah. Well, it's worth it.
Yeah.
It is worth it. You and I were like, it's a lot of money and whatever, but the investment was worth it because of what it turned out and the organization that it helped create, the process.
What it allowed us to grow to.
It helped us to build. It's a scary step to make, but it's worth it. You just need to go into it eyes open and know, what am I looking for? I need to make sure I have clear understanding of what they're supposed to be doing so that we can track that and make sure that we're moving forward.
That's it. ProServeAlliance.com.
Check us out.
If you need some software, check it out. Minimum, get on our software and start implementing what we're talking about. The software runs your company start to finish, from estimates to final invoice to paying subs from it to doing everything. One spot. It's fantastic. And we love to see our event. There's no long-term commitment. There's no commitment at all to come to the event. It's $99. Show up and hear a full day of what we're talking about, and then let's build your company to get to that spot that you're trying to get in the next 12 months. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you next time.
Bye.